Tales from the Front Lines. Tonight, the police concentrated their forces to brutalize protesters in a few parts of Minneapolis, given cover by the now exposed lie that most arrests were from out of state and that the police were going to go after the white supremacists and anarchists who were escalating tensions. In fact, the militancy has consistently been led by black and brown youth, and it is the protesters, peaceful or militant, as well as anyone in the path of the police who were shot at with rubber bullets and chemical weapons. The police ran wild once again, even driving by people in their yards and shooting munitions at them. While they doubtless went after many of the anarchists, in name or in practice, who have been working as medics, security, or providing needed supplies, they largely ignored the white supremacists. Community defense patrols warded off white supremacist attacks in several locations, including at Pimento here in Whittier. These community defense patrols are a new force on the field, formed up from community meetings in parks across the city on Saturday, and they represent the great question now facing us. As a community officially under military occupation, but that in practice has become ungovernable outside of the zones of intense military police brutality, where do we go from here? I asked this as I worked with my neighbors to patrol the streets of Whittier. Are our community patrols going to show a new way forward free of the police? Will they solidify the victories the youth at the front have won with incredible courage and sacrifice? Or will we act out of fear that looting a city built on looted land that loots our labor in the days of our lives? Will we act out of fear of fire in a city that lets homeless shelters and public housing burn of neglect? Will we, witnessing unreal levels of police violence, act out of fear of violence from each other and make that violence a reality? Will we become the new cops, putting property above human life, harassing protesters, and seeing guilt and danger written into black skin? When we say defend the community, what does community mean? Against whom are we defending it? We anarchists have a saying, kill the cop in your head. That is to say, untrain the instinct to police others that is drilled into us, especially among white Americans who have been used as a buffer between our colonized black and brown neighbors and the mostly white capitalist class. I thought of this tonight as neighbors called me to investigate what was a potential break-in attempt on my own apartment building. As I and a neighbor approached the people, I remembered times I had been approached by police who only seemed convinced of my guilt and interested in escalating the situation and enforcing obedience with violence. I was determined not to act like Chauvin, not to put something as trivial as $20 above a human's life. I talked to the couple who had been looking around my window, and it turned out they were a homeless couple trying to find an outdoor jack to charge their phone. I escorted the couple to a safer place. But the only danger for them wasn't the cops. It was also our neighbors, some of whom, given a whiff of authority, readily take up the auxiliary police role that white supremacy trains us for. People in Whittier were amazing tonight, driving off white supremacists who were shooting into our streets, sheltering those seeking safety from the police, securing Carmel Mall and Pimento among so many other places, and providing food, water, and information to each other. But there was also an underlying current of fear, of suspicion and distrust among many people guarding their neighborhoods, a suspicion and distrust of the people from the next neighborhood over, a distrust of outsiders in a city that prides itself on global connections.